Hello, it's Charlene Campbell with Call on the Midwife, and I'm here today to share with you. I've got a really interesting plan, I think, today for that will appeal to lots of different people. I've had the impression to show you a couple of things from my garden first that I just picked. Okay, so you can get a sense of what's sprouting right now in my garden. Well, the first thing I want to show you is my hibiscus flowers are all blooming. And so every year I go out and pick them. And I just picked these two. You can see how pretty the leaves are. They're just like really luscious. Aren't they gorgeous? I know. Well, you can drink the tea. So I dry these on my same screen like I showed you. I have pink, white, and red. And then I just dry them out on my dryer and save them in jars. Aren't they pretty? Make tea out of them. I got two today, so today was a bonus day. Two beautiful hibiscus today. And then the other flowers are red, wild pink, and white. And yesterday was kind of a melancholy day for a lot of people, I know, being September 11th, and it was for me too. I know all of us have our own experience with that, and some of them more direct than others, but I think it affected the entire globe, you know. So anyway, as a way of healing today, I'm wearing colors of the rose, and I want to honor the rose as a healing plant today and just bring out some of her beautiful petals for us to see. Oh, a dove just flew by the window. So I'm just going to let these fall, let you see them. And I'm just going to show you in the basket how pretty they are. There they are with the hibiscus. Oh my goodness. I think roses are the most healing thing in the world. They really are. For me anyway. I love roses and I love flowers really. And this, I mean, do you believe how pretty these are? So pretty. Okay, I'm filming in a different room today because it has more natural lighting, and I just wanted to see if it would make a difference, but I think it's still going to be a little bit dark. Anyway, we'll do our best. I hope you enjoy this. And another thing I want to do as a way of healing is I want to do, I just want to do a little bit of the sound healing for us today. The other thing I find really healing is certain stones. I showed you my my 3-ton amethyst, but I also have a 2-ton clear quartz in my front yard, and this is a chunk from it that fell off of it. It's one of my favorites, and I go sit on it, and I'll take a picture. I mean, I'll go out and show you one day too. Maybe today. We'll go see the quartz. I think stones are very powerful and they can help us heal just even by looking at them. Part of our earth, Mother Earth. She loves us and she's healing for us. So I have a candle and I have a little piece of Paulo. It's just the wood of the Paulo tree from South America. I find it's very calming. I also use it as MOXA sticks, so if you're trying to get a labor going, you can hold this about 2 inches out from the woman's inner and outer heels and inner and outer knee on both sides, and just do circular motions like a MOXA stick. If you're getting upset, you can do your third eye. You know, just little circles is good. I sometimes will do a figure 8. I just feel like if I'm a little stressed, I might just run it around my face. You know, it's hot and it's like a MOXA stick, which is kind of akin to a type of acupuncture if you put it in the right spot. So the spot that I'm talking about on the foot is right, the uterus is right here on the heel. here, and you just do like circular clockwise motions. And then you can do the ovaries and fallopian tubes, which are on the outer side. And then again, on the knee. These are to help get labor going, help move a labor along, or just for yourself, for energetically, for modulating emotions and integrating hard emotions. It can be really good. Well, bless you. Bless your day. I hope you have a peaceful integration and learning of all that has been difficult in your life, and move in peace and contentment, centered and grounded in God. Okay, that was really nice to burn that at the beginning of our lesson. Now I'm just going to do one little sound wave for us, and then we'll get along with the topic for today. I've got my medium-sized bowl. I have 3 bowls, a small bowl, a medium-sized bowl, and a large bowl, and they all make a different sound, okay? Maybe just close your eyes for a minute and just let that sound heal. Sound waves are very healing. Even through the internet, it works. I've experienced it myself. Okay, I'll be quiet one more time. We'll do it. Ready? Take a nice deep breath. And a big sigh. Longer on the out breath. Remember, I taught you longer on the out breath than on the in breath. That will reset your nervous system, reduce anxiety, and calmly center your vagus nerve, which goes from, it actually goes through your throat and down through your organs and into your vulva area. And so to reset that sometimes takes something that's not a direct hit to your conscious mind, but something unconscious, which helps to release the unconscious stored negative emotions and trauma. And we'll just release that now and adopt an attitude of peace and plenty. Okay, and we've got our candle burning. I'm just going to leave it burning here for us today in memory of everyone who has either died or been affected by 9/11, and also right now by some things that are happening that are, I think, very coercive for a lot of people that are very disturbed right now, who would like sovereign authority over their own bodies. May they have it, and may we move forward in a respectful way that respects the citizens individually and collectively without jeopardizing their sovereign ability to choose their own health for their own body and what medicine they put into it. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. Oh, see? Just about tipped. My chair just about tipped over. I think I'm going to pull that closer to me because that's a bit too far for me to reach it. And if I need it, there it is. Okay. Actually, why don't I pull it over so that you can see it too, and that might be kind of nice. We can have our candle burning in there. Okay. Too close. There we go. I'm going to have a drink of my water. Or actually, it's David made celery. Just straight celery. It's very rejuvenating and healing. It's just really refreshing. Helped me heal a lot, actually. I drink it every day. Okay, now let's get down to our class. So, what I thought I would do for a few times, it might take a few times because I'm going to, I'll just work on this until I'm at about 30 to 45 minutes each time, and then we'll just keep going. Now, what is this? Okay. Well, this is a course that I taught. I taught it. It was called Emergency Procedures in the Low Resource Post-Disaster Emergency Setting by Charlene Campbell, CPM LM. Well, this was a few years ago when I lived in Seattle. I lived actually in Issaquah, and I taught a organization. We had one class. This was the class that I taught to this organization. They actually use my manual in their program. They're called the Northwest Birth Assistants, and what they do in Seattle is they train assistants to go out with the midwives, so the midwives will have a second attendant at the birth, similar to what they do in Canada, where they train a second attendant. Now, that person could have previous experience, but this course was specifically designed to be operative under the standards of practice for Washington State. So just for those of you who are, student midwives, I'm going to cater this to a variety of different people, but I'm going to go all the way to the most medical aspects of what you would be required to understand and support that care provider with, like as an assistant in the Seattle area, just because that's what I did this course for. And I will throw in my own added, thoughts as we go along. Okay? I hope the lighting's good here. I'm just going to turn this to a little bit and see if that helps. Okay, maybe that's better. Our candle's out of our view, but it's okay. It's still burning bright for us. I hope you're well today. If you're pregnant, I just want to say a special blessing on you, that you know that you have angels surrounding you and your baby, and to feel peace today, and to create peace in your own environment with what you have control over, and let go of things that you don't. That's my little wisdom piece for today. Okay, so we're just going to start, and I'm just going to go through this, and we'll see where it leads, okay? We may not get it done today. Now, I talk a little bit at the beginning here. Why is this knowledge and family cloth vital to prepare ahead of time? Why can't we just wait till things, happen and see what happens? Well, we can't, because then it's almost too late. It's too late for everybody to learn what they need to learn and put together the family cloth and the birthing cloth and preparations. So that's why my urgency is quite strong, as you can tell. And I'm guided to do one of these a week. So I will continue to do that. And that's about all I can really do right now with my circles. We had a beautiful circle this week. Oh, it was really amazing. A healing circle for trauma. So I think it was appropriate that we did that this week too, because, there's a cumulative collective trauma too. And I know that when we gather in groups and we heal those traumas, we heal the collective also. And it's a service and a ministry to each other and to the world. Okay, that's my opinion. So I really am excited. And I'm going to sing a song to you at the end of the class today. One of the songs that we sang in our circle. Okay? Because experience shows that in post-disaster zones, or even where there's civil unrest, or it could be anything at all, war, reproductive care, now this has been shown to be true, reproductive care falls by the wayside, and preparation ahead of time is key to changing this, okay? And that is proved in the research and experience of Robin Lim. If you want to go support her work at Boomy Seahat, I highly recommend. That's a great place to put money. She's doing wonderful work in her birth centers, when she has these amazing training centers and birthing centers where people can come in and receive gentle, compassionate, dignified care that it has fantastic outcomes in these places. And the teams that go in that are trained in our obstetrical culture have a very high death rate for the mothers and the babies. And in her clinics, they had a very, very low death rate. Same cities, same disasters. Totally different way of responding to the mother. So they were still doing a lot of cesareans. Most of those women didn't survive. in those settings because of infection. So knowing how to support, just like I talked about with animals before, if you disrupt things, you're going to have disruption that affects the biological and physiological process of the natural birth process with the hormonal cocktails and such. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We want to enhance, support, and encourage the natural physiological process of the natural hormonal cocktail production of the birth, which creates the contractions to become regular and rhythmic, creates the pushing phase when we don't try to initiate the pushing phase, we don't check for dilation, we just allow the process to take place, and when the woman can't help pushing, she pushes, and the body really extracts the baby at that point, and then you have almost no cesareans, or very few. Very few. I think in Denmark they have a 2% cesarean rate. We have like 50 to 70%, depending on the area. It's absurd. It's totally absurd. Driven by, I think, fear and money, the two main drivers of that whole agenda of cutting women when they don't need to be cut. Well, but what you do is you create the problem, then you have to be the hero and save her when there wouldn't have been a problem if you didn't interfere. So it's an interesting dichotomy with the way it's created, but it will have to, I'm sure it will adjust as we move into the great millennium day, which I know we're moving into at this very moment. Praise God. Okay, so we're going to first talk about normal birth in the low resource setting and how to respond safely. So normal birth is important to focus on the fact that it's a natural process, a natural physiologic process, and to try to create a fear-free environment with the frequency of trust, of hope, and of faith, where you have that feeling of trust in the birthing process, trust in the mother's ability and capacity to birth, and trust in your capacity to be basically a servant, a conduit for God, just as a support person for that person. Really, your job is, in most cases, is just to be there and help clean up, help set up, help the mom if she needs help with her breastfeeding and stuff. All that, just being there to support and encourage, mostly. Not really hands-on as much as they used to do, or what they still do in lots of places, but really we are moving into less hands-on because we've learned how much it helps the hormonal cocktail is to let the mother dilate on her own without a bunch of fingers in there. It really disrupts the mother's hormone cocktail, and it usually doesn't help the mom to know how dilated she is. It mostly just discouraging, and then it affects her psychologically in a negative way. So there really is no research to support doing vaginal exams whatsoever, and we don't recommend it if you are not fully trained. And if you are a midwife and you are, or a student midwife and you're learning, it's good to do as many as you can that the midwife will let you, that's appropriate for that particular situation, so you can learn to check dilation. But it's also important to find a different way to learn. There's ways that you can, I think, cutting an orange peel in certain, you can, or maybe a grapefruit, something bigger, you can kind of cut and then put it inside a bag and kind of see which ones they feel like, what it feels like. And eventually, when you're checking dilation, what you're really doing in the end, I mean, I'm not suggesting you do this, but if you're a student midwife and this is part of your training, what you're really doing is at the beginning, you might be spreading your fingers to feel how dilated that is. But eventually what you're really doing is just going around the outside and you're seeing how much cervix is still left around the baby's head, okay? So you'd be like, you're checking, but you're not really putting your fingers, like it's really hard to spread them. But how you can do it is easily, you can check if you go all the way around, because sometimes you might have, a bigger lip on one side than on the other side. So, you go all the way around, check how many centimeters is it left over the baby's head, okay? Anyway, we'll keep on moving here. So you want to bring in the energy of love, acceptance, understanding, goodness, hope, and light. Yes, absolutely. And you know, how can you do that? Well, our daily practice of peace and breath keeps us as a steady river during turbulent times during the birth process. So the breath is like a steady river. If you think about that, a steady river going down, and the banks are holding it in. Okay, and your breath, you're just allowing that to ground you and be like a practice of peace that you use during the labor, just every day, so that when you do go to a labor, you've got that as something that you've been practicing it every day. So it's not new to you to try to ground yourself, to center yourself, and to not let any chaos or other people's emotions or negativity or anything affect your peaceful stance and your peaceful, grounded way of relating to other people. Okay? And then another one is to understand the best way to respond that will encourage the natural hormonal cocktail. Yes, absolutely. This natural hormonal cocktail production is necessary for a safe progress of birth, and it keeps the oxytocin high. Well, the oxytocin is one of the hormones. It's not all the hormones. There's definitely more hormones. We don't even know all the hormones that are in the hormonal cocktail. But one thing you want to do is you want to keep that hormonal cocktail high during the labor, the delivery, and the postpartum. That's where some people get a little bit confused, is where they're bringing in too much energy right after the baby's born, and that's a critical time for the mother not to bleed. The contact with her baby, the loving on her baby, everybody just like making a cocoon around her so that that's the focus, her baby. Nothing else is the focus around her, okay? Her and her baby. And you're just nurturing that and safeguarding that and creating, you know, good energy, bringing her sips of water with a straw, maybe getting, you know, some eggs and toast made, so that I think a mother should eat a meal. She should have something to eat right after she has her baby, as soon as she feels up to it, like maybe some scrambled eggs and toast with honey or something. Something to build up her energy again, so that it could even be just toast with peanut butter and honey, if it's, you know, whole grain bread, natural peanut butter and stuff, or it could be almond butter, whatever, you know, whatever she likes, that she likes the taste of it. Most women will eat a breakfast. Most women will eat like a toast and eggs kind of a situation, and that seems to be really good to get that protein in there, and that little bit of carbs in there too. Okay, so that's page 1. So we're going to move on now to page 2. How you doing? I hope you're enjoying this. And yes, if you are a person that's just watching this either as a pregnant mom or as a person who's lay but wants to be ready to help, this is actually really good too, because I'm doing this from the perspective of the you know, of the midwife's assistant, or the midwife. And so if you, for some reason, were working with a midwife, say we had an overload in the hospital here with pandemic in Rexburg area, well, it wouldn't take long before we had very few midwives on the ground doing the deliveries, and they would need to take helpers. And so even though they have equipment, they might be using medications, IVs, you know, oxygen, all these different things that they have to carry by law here in Idaho, if they're regulated and licensed, then this will be a little similar to that. And but it's definitely designed for this course that I did in Washington State. It's a little bit more highly regulated in Washington State than in Idaho Falls, but it's quite similar. Quite similar. Okay. Now, mother-led labor. Very important, another thing is for the mother to feel autonomous and sovereign in her movements, decisions, and what she's doing and how she's responding. That she's free to move in labor, drink, eat, kiss, rest, cry, sing, dance, make love, be upset for a while, cry. Yes, sometimes women will actually cry. And sometimes if they're stuck, you know, say they've been at like 6 or 7 centimeters for a long, you know, more than a couple of hours. And it's like, you don't maybe know that, but I'm just telling you this as experience, that all it can take sometimes is that woman to just express her feelings. Maybe she didn't feel quite ready. Maybe she went into labor earlier than she expected, and the house wasn't totally cleaned, or she didn't have the kids organized, or things weren't just the way she wanted. She has to process that. And that might take tears, that might take talking, that might take everybody getting up and tidying up the house a bit, putting the kids where they need to be, getting things put in order so that her mind can rest and she can move into her body and her heart and do the work she has to do for bringing her baby into the world. Okay, I did a survey. I think I did it on Facebook. Yeah. I did a survey of what I called Words Are Power Medicine for mothers. Okay, so here, now these were from mothers, from midwives, from doulas, from lots of different kinds of people who worked with mothers or who are mothers. And what did they find the most helpful? A lot of them were my clients, I think, too. Or some of them were midwives I associate with. Okay, so here's one. She's turning a corner. I like those sounds. That means baby is going to be here very soon. You are so strong. Baby is almost here. Breathe and slow down. It's okay to take your time to keep your bottom safe. Reach down and feel your baby's head. Yeah, I think it's really helpful for a mother to know and to gauge when she's pushing the head out, instead of just pushing or like having somebody else have to tell her what to do. She can hold her hand on the baby's head and she can just gently let the baby out as it feels right. And then it will just stretch her tissues nice and perfectly natural for her. Because her intuition and her understanding of her body, especially when she's touching the baby's head, is going to be greater than anybody else's in the room. So we really, really honor her as the sovereign specialist of herself. I mean, she knows herself better than anybody else. Sometimes she might feel insecure and need support and encouragement to be more confident in what she wants and in what she's doing, and you can help her if she's feeling comfortable. You can guide her hand down and say, hey, you can feel it. Yeah, just push as you feel, you know, you're ready to do so. And especially once you've pushed the baby all the way down and the head's coming out, there's no need to do any real wild pushing usually, unless there's a bit of a block or it's really difficult. Sometimes that can happen if there's a really big head or the shoulder's stuck or something like that. But generally speaking, it's more of a let's not rush this thing because then you have less chance of damaging any of the tissue, ripping anywhere. Okay, I'm going to continue with our surveyed power words, power medicine. Words are medicine and they are powerful, really, truly. I use them a lot for myself and for when I'm with people in any circumstances. The positivity of our words and the way that we communicate is really powerful, one way or the other. So let's keep it positive. Here's some more words. We're already at almost 30 minutes, so I'll keep going. Yes. Oh, okay, sorry. Reach down and feel your baby's head. Yes. Saying where baby is so it's not a mystery. Major encouragement. So talking to the mom, this is just, she's saying, tell the mom where the baby is so that she knows what's going on if she's not looking down there or feeling it. Just ride the wave. Just ride the wave. It is nice to use that, either a wave or a rush or, Other words besides contraction are nice too, I think. Oh, wow, look, she knows exactly what she's doing. You are doing such a good job. You are amazing. You know exactly what to do. See, these are things people said to them. They liked it. They were like, yes, I needed to hear that, It will end. Sometimes they do need to hear that. It's going to end. They're not going to be in labor forever. It has to come out. Babies come out is another one. Looks like it's close. And then she says, but don't lie. As a person who's, guiding someone, don't give false hope if you can help it. That's the way was my favorite when I started yelling, made me feel okay. That's the way, when she started yelling instead of like making her feel bad. I think anytime we judge someone's behavior, it's going to backfire. We need to support them, and they'll find their niche of what's right for them, especially when they feel seen and valued and honored and heard. You're doing awesome. Loved hearing things like, you are a rock star. You are a rock star. I like that too. Or anything that made me feel like I was doing a good job. Also, one thing that helped me in labor with both my kids is that it's a good pain. It's baby pain. It's a good pain. We are trained to think pain is bad, but each contraction gets you closer to baby. Exclamation mark. Okay, that's page 2. I'm going on to page 3. How you doing? I think I'll just keep going for a little while so we can get some content from the course here, and then I might just show you my clear quartz outside before I say goodbye to you on this Sabbath day. Hope you're well. Okay, now another point is leave the cord alone. Delayed cord clamping is now mainstream in many places. It's actually against the law in the UK now to cut the cord immediately. It's a bloodletting on the baby's blood, and it's really, really damaging. It's not good. I mean, it has long-term marginal brain defects as one of the risks. So we won't be cutting the cord. If for some reason you were traveling or something and you absolutely had to cut the cord, say you had to like flee an area, evacuate after the birth or something, and you felt like you did, you don't actually need to. You just need to put the placenta in a plastic bag or wrap it up in some herbs and some kind of cloth so it's not like leaking, and wrap it with the baby, and it'll be just fine. And then the cord will fall off within a couple days, so the placenta won't be on there too long anyway. Unless you have absolutely pure knowledge that you have sterilized instruments and you've waited several hours post-delivery, that's the only time that you should cut the cord. Now, number 2, that was number 1, just how to respond in a low resource setting. The low resource birth responder role in an emergency. So what is your role? Well, I think staying alert and ready and being able to support. If you are the main person that's responding, then what you want to do is do, crowd control, get the person private, let them know that you have some training, get consent from them for them to help you. Can I help you? Are you okay with me helping you? I have this course. I can do my best. And that's all you do. You don't portray yourself as a professional. It's just like taking CPR. I mean, we all take CPR, and we should be anyway. It's the same kind of a thing. Just how to do no harm in an emergency low resource birth situation. Okay, so having a clipboard is a really good idea. I put, get yourself a clipboard if you're going to be really serious about wanting to do this at some point in time. And then the other thing, because then it's so much easier to have a clipboard to record things. You can have your little cheat sheet on there. Yeah. Okay, and then in a supportive role in a crisis, the supportive role in a crisis. So yeah, you're the support. You're the person that's going to, help calm the mother down with nice, relaxing talking, and just get her water, get her something to void in, urinate in, throw up in, whatever has to happen, but a receptacle of some kind, of bucket, a bowl, anything, a bag, like a thick bag. I think, okay, that and absorbent fabric and the privacy are probably the main things for like the physical environment. Of course, water and food are nice, and a blanket for the baby's nice. Keeping drafts free, keeping this room as warm as possible. If it's cold, All right, drying the baby off, of course, really helps that, because the babies can lose their heat really easily. So you want to make sure that they're actually dried off right after the birth, okay? And acting with confidence, even if you don't feel it. Because you're going to be, like we talked about, the mother being highly suggestible during the pregnancy, during the delivery, labor, delivery, and the postpartum. So you need to act with confidence and just calm, simple reassurance is what you need to do. Call 911 if it's available, or have someone else call 911 if you're busy with the mom. Delegate people to go get those items we mentioned if you can, so that you stay with her, okay? And also maybe get one other person to help you so you have an assistant. You're not just doing it on your own. Okay, now if this is a student midwife and you're at a home birth, you actually need to fill out important information on a form. This is how we did it in Washington anyways. And that has all the important information, like if she has allergies, if she's, what her exact situation is in that birth. Like, is she strep B positive or negative? Is she, what has happened so far? What's the baby's heart rate? How quickly are her contractions coming? All those basic things need to be recorded so that when you do a transfer of care to the hospital, you've got this sheet. It's all on a piece of paper, or you can actually hand a copy of it to the EMS. You can hand a copy of it to the doctor or midwife or physician that you're transferring care to. I know in Canada, the midwives can move to the hospital and continue care. That's ideal. In our country, we have a lot of oppression against midwives traditionally since the witch hunt. And I think most midwives were burned at the stake during that time. Well, we've resurged, but we're still a very minority and still an oppressed group in this country. Not in other countries so much. In Europe, they're more respected and treated with dignity. I think that's going to come here too as we transition into the millennium, because it's always been a tradition to respect midwives, people who are helping you bring your babies into the world. That's an important position in our society, in our culture, and our community, and it should be honored, valued, and treated with great respect. That will come. Okay, stay calm and speak clearly and professionally. You may need to take a deep breath and tell yourself a calming affirmation. I am peace. I surrender to peace. I am confident and capable. My angels are surrounding me. I honor this process, and I am here as a servant for God, and I will do my best. And I will allow my hands to do their best, my heart and my mind, and together it will be with God. We can do this in that triangle with God. Okay? Having that confidence is critical. It really is. Take a deep breath. Breathe longer on the out breath than on the in breath to calm your nervous system and your vagus nerve down. Help the mom do that by mirroring the breathing with her. Look at me. Look in my eyes. Breathe with me in through the nose, out through the mouth. Look into my eyes. That's right. So you're actually you're mirroring it, and then you're encouraging her with just simple little, great, good job. You know, you've got this. I think those are really important. Like, they're really not too long, just simple little encouragements, you know, with your words, your medicine of your word power. Super powerful. Okay. You can be much more effective in an emergency by staying calm and communicating clearly. Communicating clearly, no rushing. Think before you speak. Look people in the eye. Make sure you have their attention, especially pregnant. Birthing moms can be really distracted. If you're talking, they might have you kind of zoned out. So you just got to get right down into their eyes, look them in the eye and say, hey, I'm here. I'm going to help you. You've got this. You know, there's people getting some more stuff for us, some soft cloth and a receptacle. I'm going to stay with you. I will promise I won't leave. We've already called 911, or I'm sorry, but there's no availability. The hospitals are overloaded. Whatever. Just be honest, truthful, and simple in your discussions and communication. Keep it simple, and so that people are clear. Okay. Call emergency medical services using the form that you filled out. What we would suggest is that form was already all filled out with the things that you knew, and then there were just a few little things you had to check in, like her vitals in that moment, the baby's heart rate, whatever it was that you had to add. But the form for transfer is already ready. It's something that you plan at every single birth, so you're not like scrambling trying to figure out, oh, what was her last blood lab? What are her allergies? What is her strep B status? No, you know all that stuff. It's already on the form, ready to go. And then show respect to the client and her partner and family by briefly but calmly explaining what the emergency is and what the plan of action is to be followed. So yeah, so I've been at so many different births at different places, and I know I've been at a lot of them in the hospital and a lot of them at home and in birth centers, and I've seen a lot of different emergencies. And one thing that creates a lot more stress and emotional trauma for the mother is when she doesn't know what's going on. Not that you go into a ton of detail, but don't be afraid to just say, your baby's shoulder is stuck behind the pubic bone. I need you to stand up and really push. And you'll just be surprised at the amazing strength and adrenaline that will just pump through that woman's body if she knows that her baby needs her. Whereas she could be lying on the bed, and if you're like doing it to her, like pulling her knees up and doing super paper, she doesn't even know what's going on. That can be very traumatic for a woman. So engaging engaging her in the process, I think that's a vital part of it, if you can. And I think normally you can if she's not drugged. And so we're dealing with all undrugged people here in the low resource setting, thank goodness. It's a lot easier to keep things normal if the woman isn't drugged, because she's a participant instead of a passive bystander to her own birth. Excuse me. I just burped. I think that, being a passive bystander to your own birth is not cool. And I think a lot of women are, and they just have no idea what they're missing, and it's really sad. But, it's not just pain. It's feeling that empowerment of overcoming that. And it's actually, God actually does provide analgesics. Like, all these hormones are analgesics. They really are. You go into a dream state if your environment is conducive to that, with the lighting low, with the, keeping the energy down, and people are really gentle and just supporting, no rushing, no agenda. Yeah, it can be really, really, really nice. Okay. For the mom to know what's happening. Okay, we're going to do, we're at 44 minutes. I think we're done. Yeah, I'm going to sing a song, and then we're going to go outside and I'm going to show you something after. Okay, I got my drum. One of my drums. Show you the candle again. Talking to our little... Just gonna show this to you. I have a little piece of, it's mistletoe, so you can kiss under the mistletoe. I love it. Somebody sent me that for Christmas with a little gift that said, "Let God prevail." My friend Weston and Amber sent me that. I like that. Let God prevail. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Here we are. Hope you learned something today, and if you enjoyed it, what are we going to sing? I've got the words here I'm going to put out so I can sing all the verses for you so you can get to know it a bit better. It's on my clipboard, my handy clipboard. There we go. Woman am I. That's when we sang at our class and it was kind of fun. Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. There. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. It's called the doula chant. I mean, I think it's just the idea that we're infinite beings, you know? It's kind of cool. Woman am I, spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. That's the one we sang. But the one I want to sing for you today is, okay, we are sisters on a journey, and I'm going to sing you all 3 verses, and then I'll repeat the first verse, which is what they have here, so that you can get to know a little bit, okay? You ready? We are sisters on a journey, singing now as one, shining through the darkest night. The healing has begun. The healing has begun. We are sisters on a journey, singing in the sun, remembering the ancient ones, the women and the wisdom, the women and the wisdom. We are sisters on a journey, watching life unfold, sharing warmth of heart and hand, the knowledge of the old, the knowledge of the old. Can I do the first verse one more time for you? We are sisters on a journey, singing now as one, shining through the darkest night. The healing has begun. The healing has begun. Okay. Last but not least, your little outing. You want to come? Okay, let's go. I'm going to show you my little crystal before we go. It's one of my favorite amethyst. Isn't it pretty? It's my amethyst. You can see that. It's got a really nice brown kind of tone in it. Yeah, I go to this place called Viking Books here in Rexburg, and they just have all these incredible stones. So I really enjoy it. And yeah, and they're good prices there too. I find it's very healing and nurturing to be around nature, either with plants or rocks or anything to do with the weather, being outside. Okay, here we go. We're going to take a little walk. This is my room where we just had our little meeting. It's just a little different than the other one. Okay, now we're going to take a little walk outside. Hope you're well. Here we are. It's my porch. Here I am. All right, now we're walking just straight out here on my front yard is where my stone is. So walk over here. And here it is. If you can see that. See how pretty? See how pretty it is? It kind of looks like little moon shapes, little round, kind of half moon shapes. But I love to sit on here. I love to meditate on this nice stone. And anyway, I'm sending you love and healing vibrations today. And may you be enhanced by my knowledge and information I'm sharing. If you want to learn anything specific, let me know. God bless your day and happy Shabbat.